Well, we're recording this very much off the cuff, just a couple of hours after coming out of court, where we've been all day with the so-called Equalities Commission. And frankly, what that means is some people are more equal than others, and we're right at the bottom of the heap. They've really upped the ante today. I was really quite stunned. We went along with the proposed new constitution, or the sections of it that the membership have to consider and approve or not approve, but I recommend approve. And they accepted really quite easily that we've dealt with the core of the problem. The core of the problem, they said, was direct discrimination, i.e. the fact that our membership policy was ethnically based. And if this is passed, it won't be anymore. They accepted that. The job is done. Except all of a sudden then they move the goalposts and produce the point that they're going to be saying, well, there's indirect discrimination. Now, we've looked, there's things we've understood legally. We wouldn't agree with it in all probability of it. We'd understand legally what indirect discrimination would mean, and we sought to avoid it. But primarily they picked on the proposed statement of purposes and objectives, our statement of principles. Now, this has existed in one form or another in our Constitution for 28 years. And they've now said, well, there could be indirect discrimination, because if a member of an ethnic minority doesn't like one of these principles, if they make them feel uncomfortable, then they're being indirectly discriminated against because they might not want to join. Frankly stunning. There's a point, we've had it there since 28 years, we've pledged to stemming and reversing the immigration that's taken place since 1948. They raise that as a point which they'll be objecting to, because immigrants may feel uncomfortable with that. Frankly stunning. What you've got here is a taxpayer-funded Labour Party quango trying to appropriate the right to decide the principles and policies of a legal political party. Quite astounding, and the problem is that although the judge in many parts today was really fair and reasonable, he gave the media a real ticking off over the reports last time that our constitution had been declared illegal when there was no such thing. He made that very clear. So he was fair and reasonable, but nevertheless he indicated that if they come before him arguing this indirect discrimination line, that he will be very favourable towards it. So this is a huge step from where we were, as I say, a moving of the goalposts, and it really does put us under a great deal of pressure. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board, in fact, with parts of this constitution, in all probability a second EGM just 2 weeks after the one coming up, where we are going to have to remove anything they might find objectionable or risk being dragged back into court, which they said they're going to do. So it's not a theoretical risk, it will happen. Now, to give you an idea of what that means, today the judge awarded costs against us for today's hearing, and also for one of the previous two hearings. The Equality Commission are saying that at present their costs are in the region of £100,000. £100,000 so far, and rising. Now, we will argue very vigorously, but we have to hire a very good barrister to do it, that these costs are artificially inflated and that they should be argued taxed down, which in all probability they will be. But even so, we are looking at a six-figure sum here with the costs that we're already being ordered to pay them and our own. And this, of course, is what it's really all about, because the Equalities Commission is a Labour Party quango. It acts for the Labour Party. There's a huge crossover of personnel, and the purpose of this is twofold. One, it is to bleed this party to death financially, and the other is to try to divide us amongst ourselves. Well, they're doing a good job of bleeding us. I'll be blunt with you. We have to pay, within the next 14 days, £12,500 of costs into court for the time being. We haven't got £12,500 spare. It's not in the budget. We've got to find that. We've got to give it to them within 14 days. We've got to have it coming in from donations in the next 2 or 3 days, so it's here in the next week. Or we face literally going bust. It's as simple, it's as plain as that. It really is a very serious problem indeed. So they're trying to bleed us, and they're doing a pretty good job, but we expected it. We'll carry on. The other thing they're trying to do is to set us against each other, because as this constitution, proposed constitution stands, it's very, very clear that although we're not discriminating in membership policy, that our party is here primarily for the interests and the indigenous British peoples. Now I know, I'm sure plenty of you know, and certainly Richard does down here as well, a significant number of members of ethnic minorities who'd agree with that 110%. You know, they came to Britain because it was British. They know that Britain being British is dependent on the indigenous majority remaining the dominant majority in this country, and they're not just happy with that, they're actively in favour. You know, there are people wanting to join us. But here with the Commission today saying that, oh well, when you lay out these points that you're here to do this for the British, this for the British, you're actually coming up with something which is designed to keep out members of ethnic minorities. So they're wanting us to forcing us to strip all of these things out. Now, if members and supporters out there think, well, that means the BNP's gone soft, then they achieve what they want, which is to set us against each other. The one thing that I hope, and I believe as well, certainly Richard's seen it, Eddie's seen it, other people in court today have seen how committed these people are to abusing the legal process, knowing that we really can't resist. So I don't actually think that there will be a problem with people accepting that we have to do what we have to do in order to survive. And that doesn't mean we're going soft. It doesn't mean we sold the pass, because we're not going soft, and we are not going to sell the pass. But we have to survive. Not just to survive, we also have to progress. Now, obviously this is taking out a huge amount of mental energy as well as time and money, but we have to put it to one side, and I'm here again with Richard and Eddie. We've been working for the last 3/4 of an hour or so, and we're going to be working more later on, making sure the campaign's at full speed, making sure it's focused, making sure the campaign embarking in Dagenham for the parliamentary seats and for the council is working properly, and we're giving it the very best shot that we can, as we will in various other seats up and down the country. We're fighting this election to win, and the Labour Party is abusing the process, having its allies abuse the process to try and stop us winning. What's the surprise? No one should be alarmed about it, surprised about it, or despondent about it, because the fact they're going to these extraordinary lengths, they're more or less saying the indigenous don't exist, or if they do, they have no rights, and certainly cannot organise politically, neither they nor their friends. That's what they're saying. It's extraordinary lengths to go to in order to stop us. We're determined they will not stop us, but we need your help. With the days of action that we're working on, there's no point calling a day of action unless people come. And not just people from around here, they're here night after night in any case. We need supporters and activists from all over the country, flooding the place down here to put our message out, putting leaflets through doors, knocking on doors, talking to people. We need that. And of course, it's very un-British to say it, we need money. We need money right now, within the next 7 days, over and above what we normally need to survive, over and above what we have to pay our own lawyers. We need £12,500 to give to the court for the Equalities Commission. Otherwise, they come after us, me specifically, with a great big stick. We've got to pay that now. We need the money now. And we also need people to be either digging deep now or planning to dig deep over the next few weeks in order to ensure that we've got the money we need to fight this election properly. Because money is the thing that it's all about when you're in British politics today. Money provides the leaflets, it provides the papers, it provides the machinery to allow us to win elections. And that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to win this election, and we will continue trying to win it. We'll give it the very best shot we can. I'm sure that you will respond, that you'll come out and help us on the campaign trail, and also right now, tell other people how important it is. It's not just about the British National Party here and now, it's about the ability of our people, the British, the English, the Scots, and the Irish and the Welsh, our ability and our right to organise in defence of the interests of our people, our community and our heritage in our country today. That's what's at stake. Please help us.